Well, happy Friday, guys. I know, again, it's a different setup. I am at home in my living room. You can tell by the artwork and stuff. So I'm at home, comfortable at home, away from the crazy streets with people with no insurance. Yep. This is full coverage weather. Don't forget, okay? But thank you for coming back to another episode of More Than Rubbing. I am your host, Ashley Renee, and I made a new friend as always, Marcella Thompson. She is a licensed massage therapist, and y'all, she's helping me keep my job because there's a lot of things that I didn't know. But one thing I'm going to have her do, we're going to talk about the crazy trends of plastic cosmetic surgery. So, Marcella, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Ashley. I love you, girl. I'm so sad we can't be in person.
I know. Lunch was great. We talked for like 2-3 hours, didn't we?
We did. And I really do appreciate the opportunity to be on this show so we can spread the word, because it's so important for me to get the information out there as to what's going on in the industry of plastic surgery and cosmetic manipulation. My name is Marcella Thompson. I'm the owner and founder of Divine Wonders, DWS. Woo-hoo! And I've been doing this for a really long time. However, I do have a unique story. I did start my career about 28 years ago. I first graduated from massage school in 1993, a long time ago. And back then, the state of Kentucky did not have any of the regulations and limitations and statutes of laws that they have now. Our state board has only been in effect for about 25, 26 years, and I've been doing this for 28. So there was a time period in between where some things started taking place in our industry and the state needed to get a hold of it. So they created this state board. And the state board took it upon themselves that from a time period, if you had gone to school, that they were grandfathering you in to be licensed massage therapist. Right. Well, here's the key. All licensed massage therapists who are listening to this, make sure you keep your information updated with your state board. Had it been that I'd done that, I would not have had to take myself back to school in 2010. I missed that grandfathered window by about 4 years.
Man.
I had to spend $25,000 to go back to school.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a large ticket.
It is. And then so, with the things changing that, with all the laws and everything, with the state board regulating itself and becoming more well-known within the state of Kentucky, they changed a lot of things. And so then that mandated more testing, a stronger test that was made by doctors for us to become licensed. That test, Ashley, it's not a fun test.
That medical test that I cried at the table. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I cried not once, not two, not three, but 4 times, because that's how long it took me. It took me almost 7 years to pass that test. I did it on my own. I did become licensed in 2019 as a professional licensed medical massage therapist. I put myself out there on more of a medical basis than anything. However, walking away from the field of being a masseuse as opposed to being a therapist, I did have a lot of clientele that stayed with me even though I wasn't licensed. And I was very honest with them to let them know I wasn't, but they kind of didn't care because we kind of had a rapport going on.
Right, that relationship.
The one thing I definitely want to clarify is there is a difference between a masseuse and a therapist.
What is that? What's the difference?
Young lady, I'm proud that we are therapists.
Thank you.
There's nothing wrong for I don't pass judgment on nothing, on nobody. It's everybody's floating the boat.
Just don't put that label on me. That's all I ask. Don't put that label on me.
There you go. The difference between a masseuse and a massage therapist is that a masseuse does carry certifications for massage modalities. However, they have a wider spectrum of not being so strict, and there can sometimes be curriculums and activities outside of the massage that happen after the massage. A lot of people like to label happy endings.
But I think all endings are happy.
They should be. They really should be. If it's done correctly and properly, you're going to feel really good.
Heck yeah.
And then therapists, which is what we are thriving to pursue to be and be the best of, is where we take ourselves to school and we go through the proper steps and the proper channels of being licensed. sending in our information to our state board, having our state board give us a credentialed number that is open to the public. It is public record.
Yep, you can verify it.
For anybody to see that we have a number that's been assigned by the state. And in order to get that number by the state, we had to go through a lot. We had to go through school, we had to go through testing, we had to go through fingerprinting, we had to go through a FBI background check. You know, we had to get approved by the state that we were mentally competent to be able to go help people.
Yep.
And then they gave us that number. And so it was a hardship. I'm very proud where I am now, because now I want to be the resource to us that we didn't have when I was going through all of these steps.
And I'm thankful for you. I really am. But let's go ahead and get straight to the topic is the trending of plastic surgery. And I want to list the 5 top ones: facial fillers, injectables and sculpting, microneedling, BBL. In 2020 and 2021 was the year of the year, honestly. To over 20,000 surgeons, board certified surgeons have performed BBLs. And then we have arm sculpting, and then last is tummy tucks, and that number was over 30,000 of certified board surgeons who have performed tummy tucks. So BBLs and tummy tucks are what is growing and the most popular as of today, correct?
Actually, it's saturated. It's saturated.
It
and
is.
there are a few others that are not far behind. You know,
Right.
with the tummy tucks consist of cutting and tucking skin that can no longer be maneuvered through muscle manipulation and has lost the elasticity and the tonicity.
Okay.
We also have the Brazilian butt, which is popular of taking what's then considered a 2-part section of surgery, because in order to get a Brazilian butt complete, they have to suck fat out of someplace else.
So you have to have the fat.
You have to have the fat. And so what's climbing really high behind the tummy tuck and the Brazilian butt is the lipo and lipo 360.
Yes.
And the difference between lipo and lipo 360 is that lipo can only consist of the stomach and the flanks, which are the love handles a lot of women want to get rid of.
Yeah.
A lipo 360 is all the way around.
Okay. All right. Well, since we got that in place, or we know what those are, let's talk about the mortality rate. I know we only got a few seconds left, but there's a lot of major risks that take place when you're getting these procedures done, correct? And
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And one of those is the fat entering the bloodstream, moving through the blood vessels, and causing blockages of the lungs. And then fat is injected into, and what you will need to do is to prevent that is, I'm sorry, I'm like racing against time. So guess what? We're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to begin with the dangers of the BBL, tummy tucks, lipo 360, and we'll have some other points to come across. So come right back, okay?
In between there is absolutely beautiful. How can I get on that, Ashley?
Want your brand or business featured on The Plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you.
And we are back, and I hope you grabbed some water. And I know we ended on the dangers of the BBL and the tummy tucks and the Lipo 360, but let me throw out some points here. So BBL is the highest mortality rate, which is taking the lives out of 1 of 15 people who are getting this procedure done. And this is an outpatient procedure. You're not inpatient. This is outpatient. They cut you up, stitch you up, send you on your way. So after that, I hate to say it, they don't care after that. They care, but they don't care. And it's like it's the Chick-fil-A drive-through line. They are rolling them in and rolling them out. So what are some things we can do to prevent that from, is there anything they can do to prevent that from happening? I mean, other than being educated before and after?
Education is the best thing to have. You know, there are so many reasons why people are going out and getting cosmetic manipulations and plastic surgeries. For whatever reason, allergy tests. You know, my daughter wanted to go in and have body manipulations, and we were attempting to look into it. And I'm glad that we had an allergy test done beforehand, because she ended up being allergic to a compound that's used in anesthetic. And she is no longer a candidate for being able to have any kind of manipulation. In fact, it's a high risk for us. And a lot of people don't know that about themselves. And I'm not talking about the skin test. I'm not talking about the test where you go get the dots on your back and the dots around your arms, and then you keep it on for 5 or 8 days and they'll wipe it off and they got all the dots and they do the connections on how deep the markings are. I'm talking about going to your PCP and asking them to take blood out of your finger and send it off for the allergies that may be tied into foods that we eat, because there are a lot of compounds that come from the ground in which we absorb through our food. And that's also for man-made things like anesthetic, you know. I also encourage people to get their iron checked. A lot of times you get all the way down to the facility in which you're traveling to, which I always encourage people to do in-house surgical procedures. If there is anything that you can do it in your state. Because if you travel to a state and then once you leave that state, you kind of null and void your follow-ups that come with the package, because they know you're not going to fly back and forth for any issues. Okay. So I had a young lady who had her surgery completely paid for her company to go with her and everything. The person who was to assist her got all the way up to the day of her surgery and her iron was too low.
Yep, I've had
money that has been spent for leading up to these procedures. So another thing that I ask people to go in and do is check with your PCP, get with your primary care provider, see what it is that they recommend and what they have also to line up with your temple to get ready for something like this. Iron infusion is something that is usually recommended anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks before you leave for your surgery, so your iron levels can be up. Hydration packs. Look around, we have some awesome nurse practitioners in the city of Louisville that offer hydration packs. And that is something that is needed for the body anyway. Generally, weekly thing that we need. Even the most fit person can't eat everything it is that this temple needs as the nutrients keep going. You know, water. I usually tell people, if you do follow through with this, if you find a surgeon that after you've looked at their credentials, after you looked at if they've caused any deaths, after you've looked at how many infections have been caused by their surgeries, after you looked at how many open lawsuits that this surgeon or facility may have against themselves. Once those decisions are made, the next thing you have to do is saturate yourself with so much water you don't like it. And seriously, because even with the smallest incisions that are being made that you don't know how your body is going to handle that, once the air that we breathe hit our muscles shrivel up like SpongeBob out of the sea, you know? So no matter how much we hydrate ourselves, we can never hydrate ourselves enough. And the one thing I ask and beg anybody to do in any kind of procedure or consideration for a procedure like this is to make sure you have oversaturated your muscles so your recovery process isn't as hard being dehydrated as opposed to being hydrated.
Right. All right. So with all the dangers out of the way, the two things that we offer as massage therapists are manual lymphatic drainage and post-operation massages if we're certified, correct? What is the difference between the two?
So if it is that we do post-op surgeries, post-op manipulations and sessions, it's still a lymphatic drainage.
Okay.
It's pretty much one and the same. I have had ladies who have come to me prior to going to surgery to get as much lymphatic fluid off before, because once the body goes through that trauma of getting something sucked out of an area, anytime you take something away from your body, your body's going to swell, you know? And then so the difference between lymphatic drainages and a post-operative package is really nothing. The difference is the modality of the touch from the therapist and how we go in and how we drain. And that's a clarification that a lot of people ask me. There is no such thing as post-op certified. Nobody is post-op certified. Post-operative certification does not exist. Nobody is going to go in a medical field and say, oh, okay, I taught you this and you can do this after surgery. That does not exist. And I've had a lot of people ask me, are you POC? And I'm like, what's POC? And they're like, post-op certified. And I'm like, no, I'm licensed, which means that I cover the whole realm of everything that's needed in a recovery process.
Yeah, I've had so many arguments of people calling before they even go to get their surgery. Are you certified? And I'm like, ma'am, I had to take this class before I even graduated. I had to. So don't.
And a lot of people don't know the steps as licensed massage therapists that we had to go through and what was covered in order for us to even get to the testing point.
No,
and
they
so
downplay our profession so much, and again, that's why I'm bringing light to this podcast, because again, it's more than rubbing. I have to. My license is just as important as your surgeon's.
Most definitely. And a surgeon is not going to put his license on the line for anybody, and I'm not going to do that for anybody. And I want to make sure that we are out educating enough people, because these surgeries are expensive, that we don't need anybody out here swindling money out of anybody and then not processing the results they need.
And that's my whole point. I always tell people, it's not the surgery that I don't like. For one, I don't like pain. I'm worried about your before care and your after care. I don't give a damn about the surgery. So with that being said, we're going to take another break, and we are going to come back with some tips to get you started and continue with your post-op. All right. So stay tuned. Come right back.
Want your brand or business featured on the plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you.
My daughter's keeping me up on my cards since I can't see shit.
All right, guys. So we are back, and I hope you learned a lot within the last two segments, because this third segment is gonna save your life. There's aftercare, there's pre-care, And there's aftercare. We're going to talk about the aftercare. So Marcella, what are some items? What are some things? Just you got the whole segment. What we need to do after we get the surgery?
The first thing that I always ask people is, don't complain about the prices of the package that you come across licensed massage therapists to offer for services that we are going to give you results that you have paid for from a surgeon. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I love my surgeons. Surgeons are great. They're smart, they're intelligent, but we have something over them, and that is a little bit more on a hands-on with the body, because ladies, for you all listening and tuning in, and for the ones that come in after this segment of live and see this recording, you pay surgeons to suck out your fat. That's all you do. When they come in, they take those little pins and they go whoop, 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 and they make you look thin through all those linings and everything. That's a facade on what it is that they hope and expect for you to look like. What we have found out throughout the years is that us massage therapists, licensed nurse practitioners, registered nurses who have gone in and become CLTs, which is a certified lymphatic therapist, which massage therapists are a level 1 of that when we graduate, that there is a mastery level you could go through to learn about the lymphatic system. That if you pay a surgeon to suck out fat, make sure you have enough money to pay for the post-op packages for us to shape you and get you where you want to be. Because the surgeon comes with a package of saying you need to get this. The first thing you need to do is buy this. The second thing you need to do is line up this. Well, I have a lot of women who they spare their money by me telling them, don't get this and don't get that. Some things it is that they pursue to push you to buy is intimidation, because they know you don't know anything about what's going on. And the first item I can tell somebody not to buy is that Brazilian butt pillow. Don't buy that. The one that sits on the bottom of the hips and cuts off the femoral artery and gives you sciatica issues, because it can cut off the pulse for that nerve. Don't get that. There are other little things and other little ways that we would be able to suit comfort for you outside of the $65 BBL pillow. That's just a brick. That's all it is a brick. Fajas. Once you come out of surgery, you're going to need to be compressed. And compression is extremely important, because once you come out of surgery, you think you're going to look like this, but you're really swollen. Because you put your body through one of the most traumatic situations. You've taken something away from it that it has gotten so used to. And if you have decided to put it in another area, you have another area of your body to have to worry about, because sometimes, not to scare anybody, but this is just in general about the humanality of humans. Nobody is alike. Nobody in this world, not twins, not triplets, not quadruplets, nobody is alike set up on the inside. So everybody's come out is going to be different. And when I get people who say, oh, I've got this, and I've got this, and you've kind of spent money that you didn't need to spend, because you thought you needed something and you didn't have a symptom for it. So everybody's journey is different. The things that I usually see women have questions about in regards to coming out of their surgeries is, what kind of faja do I need? Oh, I asked them, do you have a faja? I had some who didn't even know what a faja was. And I was like, whoa, wait, stop. So before you get going, you have to have a list of everything in order to recover properly. I have a faja here. This is a sample faja.
And shouldn't you when they ask me just for advice, I always tell them to get a few different sizes if they can't find that.
Most definitely. And the one thing I wanted to point out here is
goal size. Get your goal size.
The goal size. Because this faja, this is a faja. This is what the faja is supposed to look like. It's supposed to have straps that kind of connect itself like our bra.
It's like a bodysuit,
The bodysuit itself has 3 lanes of a strap like our bras. And I encourage women to get these kind of fajas, because you're going to learn to compress yourself in stages to get yourself down to where you want to be. Now I have a lot of
hourglass figure.
The hourglass figure. And I have a lot of women who are like, why do I have to go through this? I saw this girl on the surgery chat and I saw this and she came out looking like this. Well, let me tell you, again, Nobody is identical. Nobody is the same. Nobody's inside ladder, nothing. And so it's a great possibility you do have some ladies that come out and they're completely snatched the way that they want to. That does not mean they don't have any symptoms of soreness, tightness, or stiffness, or tenderness, nothing like that. They may not express it, but they do. Those are all common symptoms. The next thing that you need, that's the most important part of anything, compression socks. I see a lot of women when they come back, the first time that I see them, and they have on footies or they'll have on some anklets. And I'm like, hey, compression socks. These socks are to compress your legs. They're called compression socks for a reason.
They probably call granny hose.
Girl, the granny hose is going to save your life from a blood clot. Let me tell you.
Look, you try to be cute by summer, you're going to be ugly during the winter, honey.
During the winter, you know. And so, especially in the first 3 to 6 months, these are very vital. This faja is something that stays around for about 6 months to a year. I have some women who have completed their processes a year in too, and they still like feeling compressed. So they still live with this faja. So, you know, it really does depend on the person because, again, everybody is different. And those are the two main things that is needed directly after surgery. I mean, as soon as you come out of the surgery room and you're headed back to your recovery spot, whether you get a recovery house or you go to a hotel, that these two items, the faja and the socks, are the two things that you absolutely need. Now, the next thing that you need to know when you go into a recovery process, usually the surgical staff or the team of the office that you had your procedure in will provide you with people who come in and do massages. Or you need to get 2 or 3 massages in. However, I've had some women who have gone to surgeons and they didn't know anything about massages. So it's up to us as licensed massage therapists, and I'm on a mission for this. Yeah, I'm not scared of doctors. I don't care about a doctor. I care about your life. And therefore, I have gone around and expressed to plastic surgeons and to cosmetic doctors who may not know the importance to emphasize on the lymphatic drainages after their procedures, just so their clients can get the best results. That's all we're doing is to get the best results. Okay.
So, can my homegirl learn from YouTube to learn to do lymphatic massages?
Yeah, I'm sorry that you learned off YouTube how to do lymphatic massages.
But I'm just
lymphatic
saying,
massages
if I get surgery, can my homegirl learn from YouTube and perform massages on me?
No.
Okay. We got that out the way. But guess what? We are running out of time, Marcella, and I want to thank you. And I want you all to follow her on social media and her website. And if you're thinking about getting BBL, tummy tuck, Lipo 360, this is the woman that you need to get in contact with. And she has taken me under her wing to learn everything that she knows. So you'll be able to contact me soon. But here's what I want to point out to you all about some aftercare tips, or even before. Have all of your facts. Talk to your surgeon about your concerns. Reflect on your reasons for having the surgery. I want you to feel good, but I want your soul to be good too first. Who cares about the outside if your inside ain't right? Right? Set reasonable expectations. Have a support system in place and be optimistic. This is not a cure for serious underlying mental issues like depression. It's not a cure. So with that being said, ladies, you are beautiful just the way you are. Yes, a little nip and tuck can go a long way and get you further. But you are still beautiful. Don't forget that. So Marcella, tell them where they can find you at.
I'm at www.divinewonderslmt.com. I am on Instagram at Divine Wonders LMT, and I am also on Facebook at Divine Wonders MMT. My name is Marcella Thompson. You can reach out to me. My email address is divinewonders@yahoo.com. All of that information is on my website again, www.divinewonderslmt.com. Please give me 24, 72 hours, but I will reach out and answer every inquiry and interest that you have. Ashley, thank you. This is so important to me that we get this word out. I can't express to you so much for giving us this chance.
It is. And like I said, you're going to come back because we have more to talk about, a lot more topics to talk about, and you need to help me keep my license. So thank you all for joining back on this Friday for your lunch, and please be safe. Happy Black History Month, y'all. And we're going to turn up for the whole month of February. Even though it's short, we're going to turn up. All right. Y'all be good.
Want your brand or business featured on the plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you.